Good morning, church family. Pastor Dan here, and to visitors, welcome to our devotional channel here at Rockhampton Baptist. Now, as we enter into December, as you're watching these videos, it's obviously the Christmas season, and last year I did a bit of research and about Santa and some of our Christmas traditions to try and find if there was a hidden Christian tradition or something behind it that pointed towards Jesus, or at least pointed towards the heart of Jesus. And I found a fair few things from, things about the Christmas stockings to giving of gifts to those sorts of things. These traditions that we've accepted in Western culture in 2020, things like Christmas lights and all sorts of things. Some of them have a Christian meaning behind that. And Santa's one of the big ones that does. Now I know that there are some families, especially Christian families, that would kind of sit on either side with Santa. They would either encourage Santa in their family and believe in that and give presents from Santa, or kind of steer away from Santa so that it doesn't deter from the meaning of Jesus and the true meaning in what they do. But can I encourage you, as you listen to this and listen to this series that I'm going over the next 4 weeks, to kind of unlock and see a little bit more about the tradition and the heart of where Santa transformed from, and see that there is the heart of Jesus in there. And so we're going to start today with looking at Saint Nicholas, who's one of the main characters that transformed into this image that we have of Santa today. So I want to look at a proverb, Proverbs 14 verse 31 today. Now the proverb says, "Those who oppress the poor insult their maker, but helping the poor honors him." It says, "Those who oppress the poor insult their maker, but helping the poor honor them." And talks about a heart that Jesus would have had and a heart that God has to help the poor in that. So that if we are the ones that are oppressing the poor, not helping or meeting the needs, it in fact insults God, our Maker, our Creator. And it seems like Saint Nicholas, who was a Greek priest in the 3rd to 4th century in the Asia Minor area, which is modern-day Turkey, understood this helping the poor. He came from a rich family. His parents died when he was younger, and he became a priest, and so he was quite wealthy as a priest as well. So one of the things that we read in the stories that we have of him is that he had a heart for the poor. He had a heart for meeting the needs. And there's a simple story that talks about one of the ways in which he did this. So there was a father that had three female children, and he was looking to get them married. Now this was in a time and a tradition where arranged marriages occurred, where you would pay a dowry or a sum of money in order to allow your daughter to get married to a certain man. And now this man who had these 3 daughters wasn't very wealthy. He was in fact quite poor, and so he didn't actually have any money in order to give towards these men in order to marry his daughters off. So it's an interesting tradition that we don't carry on today, but it was a tradition that carried on, and still in some countries carries on today. But somehow Saint Nicholas, as he was working and serving in that community, heard about this need in the community that this man couldn't pay. And so what he decided to do was, in secret, is to actually donate some money or some certain gold in order to allow this man, this father, to pay the dowries, to pay what he needed to get his 3 daughters married. And so the story goes like this, is that in fact during the night time when everyone is asleep, he in fact got into this man's house through a chimney, dropped a bag of gold near the chimney there, probably near their socks, which were hanging over the fire to get dry. And he did that one night, and that was for the oldest daughter. And then a while later, he did it again, dropped in another sum of money for the second daughter, and the father was kind of wondering what's happening. Who's this secret generous person that is allowing me, to pay the dowry in order to get my daughters married. And then he did it the third night, but got caught the third night, and the father stayed up awake and found him as he was dropping off this sum of money. And in the heart of St. Nicholas, he said, please don't tell anybody. I don't want anybody to know what I have done. Because St. Nicholas was doing it from a heart of service, and from a heart of meeting the needs of the poor. He didn't want glory for it. He didn't want to be recognized for it all. But he knew the heart of Jesus, and as a priest and as a servant of God, he just wanted to meet the needs of the poor. He saw the needs, he had the means and the money to do that, and so he gave that. And so it's interesting as we read this, as we hear about this story, that you see that it looks a little bit of what our modern day Santa Claus looks like. Coming down the chimney, stockings on the fireplace, or socks, presents or gifts going into these stockings or nearby for Christmas. And so it's interesting how we see some of these stories transform into what we have now in terms of gift giving. But it demonstrated that some of these foundations and traditions we have in Christmas actually come not from an idea, but from the heart of Jesus, of meeting the needs of the poor. And this is one of these things that St. Nicholas demonstrated, the heart of Jesus, to meet those needs. He demonstrated how we could serve. And we do in Christmas today meet the needs of the poor. We do, in fact, give gifts and donate money, and that tradition has carried on of what we do today. So can I encourage you, as we look at Christmas and look at this series and see some of the heart behind our tradition, that you would meet the needs of the poor this Christmas. Be generous in our time and giving. Give what you can, and demonstrate the heart of Jesus in the way in which we serve. Let me pray for you. Dear God, we thank you for your heart that you've given us. The heart to meet the needs of the poor, to love those who just don't have enough, Lord. To love those that need support and assistance. And Lord, we thank you for blessing us so that we could do that. Lord, help us over this Christmas season to find these needs and to meet them, to demonstrate your love and grace and the reason why you were born, the reason why you came to save us and died on the cross. Lord, help us to demonstrate this Christmas season. Keep walking with God. Talk with him. Let him talk back as you read the Bible. And when he does speak, trust and obey him. Keep looking for opportunities to bless others and bless the poor during this season. See you soon.